Secretary Kerry, I'm not planning to game show this. I don't have a board because that's good theater, but it's not good legislating, and it's not necessary oversight in my view. Nor am I going to ask any member of this committee who their scheduler is, who their comms director is, who their staff assistant is, because that's not how this works. And we all know that, actually. And before you were cut off, I believe you were about to say, and I'll give you an opportunity to actually complete what you were going to say, that you're going to follow the regular process and respond to the chairman's questions. Is that accurate?
Yes, not only are we going to follow it, I believe that about 600 pages were delivered yesterday or the day before yesterday in answer. Look, there are a lot of requests that come in. There's a massive amount of requests and a very small office. And we have there are two tracks that we address. One is the oversight. We have oversight committee, oversight personnel. They are the ones who are responsible for that. I don't literally touch that. It goes directly to that office. The second track is through the FOIA track, where there is a formal process with an office in the State Department for FOIAs, and they are responded to as fast as they can be. So, you know, if we could, I think our staff budgets were cut last year, not to mention, if we could get additional funding, we can have people speed it up.
Yep, I appreciate that. And I, for one, have found you and your office to be nothing but transparent and forthcoming and cooperative, and there's no doubt in my mind that you'll continue to do that. But this is serious stuff, putting aside the graphics and the back and forth here, and there's very serious strategic competition at play, because the People's Republic of China is moving extremely aggressively in areas of the global south, South America in particular, and engaging with countries. They're trying to move them into their sphere of influence on the issues of climate, on the issues of resiliency. I've had a lot of discussions with leaders in South America who said, you know, we'd love to partner with you on this, but you're not coming to us as aggressively as China is in some instances. So could you just speak to the importance of the United States in leading on this and continuing to double down on this issue from a strategic competition perspective?
Well, this is the largest, this opportunity to transition to clean energy is without doubt the largest economic opportunity the world has seen since the Industrial Revolution. Bigger by far, even not necessarily in impact, well, I'm not even sure I can say that, with respect to the technology revolution, because technology is going to be a critical component of what's happening. You've got huge investments taking place in green hydrogen, huge investments taking place in direct air carbon capture. A major company, Occidental Energy Company, is pursuing that, all in on direct air carbon capture. Others are trying to do other forms of capture and utilization and storage. Batteries have made remarkable progress. That's going to continue. The cost of solar and wind is now almost literally negative. I mean, it's come down so far that it is, you know, almost the go-to initial effort.
So it's safe to say there's incredible economic opportunity that is there for the taking if we're able to engage strategically and take advantage of it, and we're competing against China and others for that.
We are competing, but and everybody has their own approach, and which is one of the exciting things here. We're not going to know what the winner is going to be necessarily, but they're going to be big winners here, and I think that we're seeing that transformation already taking place.
And in the limited time, I want to push back on this fallacy, as I believe it, that it's a sign of toughness. Some people will think that it's a sign of toughness and strength to walk away, to quit talking, to quit engaging, even if we have areas of mutual interest with some countries, of which we have very real concerns and skin in the game, so to speak. So can you just very briefly tell me why it's important to still engage with China and others, even if we have conflict and real disagreements in other areas?
Well, the administration is determined to try to stabilize what has been, particularly recently, a very unstable situation. And the president is obviously concerned, as I think most people are, about the potential for mistake, the potential for something to inadvertently drag us into an open, hot conflict where up until now it's been, sort of in a more reserved fashion. I think that that those who are involved in that side of the fence, and I'm not, I am dealing only with the climate. And President Biden and President Xi specifically determined at the beginning of the administration that they were going to try to separate climate because it's not a bilateral issue. It is a global, universal issue which threatens everybody on the planet, and we don't want it to become the hostage of some of these other tensions, all of which are real. There isn't one iota of diminishing of the reality of those other challenges through our office or anyone else. So we've been trying very hard to operate in a way that can maximize our output, notwithstanding those other tensions.
Thank you for that. My time has expired. Thank you for the additional time, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
You're welcome, and I thank you for your questions. I will set the record straight that it is common practice for every one of our offices that it be open source who works in our offices, and that every consular and State Department have a website, which is basic transparency, and that on that website, they do put up the hierarchy of who works, but you do not have a website, and so you do not have that level of transparency. I will now recognize Mr. Mills.